All right, so we're gonna cruise through how this thing needs to go back together. So pulling it a little further away from the cabinet back there so you can get into the back side will be clutch for replacing the oven igniters. The oven igniters are at the bottom of each. You can see the ceramic white there with the single large orange wire, one in each of the ovens. I expect that you would have to get at that area from the back side and potentially taking this cover here off from the inside. And then there may be some other moves to make for the one that would be down here under the main oven, which you can kind of see right there. So then the other two components that are coming are those two guys. You can see the orange wires, right? They say BAK, that means bake. Those are the ignition coils, I'll call them, or ignition units. The new ones that come will not look like these because there was a service recall, and so the new ones are a replacement. The new ones come with a shield, and so you're gonna have to sort out getting that shield to work with this gas line. But you're also gonna have to connect this small quarter gas line back to each of these little things where the Venturis attach, but I'll get back to that. I'm just saying this for now because there's going to be a metal shield that's going to have to fit over this unit and a metal shield over this unit. At the moment, there's only one screw in each down in there, and so they're kind of freewheeling. I suspect that the holes that are right there are the ones that get us where we need to be to line up for the screws that will come with the shields, because there's a screw in the shield on this side and a screw in the shield on this side. And so you'll get these, you'll get the igniters in. Also, this dial, which at the moment, as you can tell, is not working because it's stuck in the 275-degree area. There's a wire 4-prong here, or 3-prong, and then these two nuts, and that should get that bezel out, and then put the new one in. And just as you tighten it, make sure that before you cinch it down, that it is as perfectly straight up and down as you can arrange it. I fathom that it will have to be because the stud bolts there will force it to be, but just double check before you give it the final little tweak on those. So once you've got that dial in, those two items replaced, the igniters that are down under each oven, one each, get those in. And then with it still open in this way, plug in power and turn on gas, and then start it up. In the bake mode like this, you'll need to have it set to a temp. That set temp should be what appears here. When you have it on broil, it should go to broil here. Likewise, clean should go to clean here. In the bake position, it should go to whatever temperature you've set on this potentiometer, this dial, which is a potentiometer. Well, it's dialing a potentiometer. Anyways, so now once that's set to bake and on, you should hear the ignition go, the gas light, whoosh, it'll light. Then temperature should be going up, going up. You should hear gas, and it should not shut the gas off until it reaches the temperature that you've set. So set it at a fairly low temperature, right? 150. Then it's got to get to that point. If it shuts off and comes back on, we still have the same issue, meaning if the burner shuts off and then comes back on, it'll eventually get to that temperature and stop itself, but it should only have to light it once to get there. Likewise for the other oven, right? That baby needs to be on bake and then to a temperature. Do these tests separate of each other so that you're isolating what we've got going on in case things don't work. Right now what's going on is the oven will light, both will do the same thing, and they will light. You hear the ignition, then the gas comes on, there's flame, it's heating, it's heating, it's heating. This does not read what's heating, this reads what the set temperature is. So you just have to trust that it's heating, 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 because you hear it heating, 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 and then it would shut down after about 30 seconds. The burner, the flame burner in the oven would shut down, and then it would go back through the same ignition cycle. And it would do that until it gets to its set temperature. But it shouldn't do that until it gets to its set temperature. It should come on, stay on, and be good to go. Now, with the amp clamp on either one of these wires, while it is trying to ignite, there should be 3.5-ish amps coming through those wires. At the moment, it was like 0.07, which is why we know that that's an issue. So we're replacing those igniter modules as well as the igniters themselves. Now, these cables should have, with the amp clamp meter, should have 3.5-ish, somewhere between 3.2 and 3.8 amps drawing current. Likewise, on the back here, there is a igniter in the boiler area, and it goes in through here, these two wires. So with the dial set to broil, this cable with the amp clamp on it should read about the same, 3.5, somewhere between 3.2 and 3.8. If it does not, then something else is going on, because these were reading correctly. So with the broil, with both of the dials in the broil position, so the little dial in the broil position, the big dial in the broil position, then this should be igniting and should be drawing 3.5-ish amps. I'm saying this so that you can have something to gauge the draw for those orange cables against. The draw should be the same. Orange cables do the igniters for the ovens, the burners at the bottom of the ovens. These white cables right here do the igniter for the broiler at the top of the ovens. So you've got something to gauge it on. Now, we'll have to talk if it goes back together and isn't working. If it is working, correct operation is you turn it to bake, you turn it to a temperature. It runs until it gets to that temperature, and then the burner should stop running. After some period of time, it will pick back up and run again because you'll lose heat, but it shouldn't pick back up and run again within, 10 seconds. It should be probably a minute or 3 before it decides that it's going to fire the ignition, light the burner again. Now, we'll get to sort of the reassembly. I'm going to stop this and we'll start another one. So we've got a break point.